There we go. Oh my God, this thing's always catching me up breathing. All right, Henry, you get to go. Boom, there we are. Oh my God, this thing won't even let me come up. There we go. There we go. Where is everybody, man? I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. You know, I want to. XRPZ in the heezy. Hope you guys are ready. Because it's happening, Captain. XRP, baby. In the building. At $1.40 right now. What is everybody up to, man? How is everybody? Where is everybody? Let's pull up some XRP lore. Sophie Cunningham, what are you doing? Anyway, I never lost a fight. What's Coins Kid talking about?
Hello, good afternoon. We will start with breaking news. The International Monetary Fund has downgraded Britain's economic prospects more than any G7 country in its latest update on the state of the global economy. It's a fresh blow for Chancellor Rachel Reeves, with the financial institution slashing the UK's growth forecast from 1.3% to 0.8%. It also follows a similar downgrade from the OECD. Just last month, the IMF says the UK is also set to see higher inflation in the months ahead, with price rises set to average at 3.2% across 20.
Their spirits were sunken and low. Their bags weighed more than a ton's run. The canvas balance sheet
is normal. And then right now we'll have an example, a nice little trade on. So please get involved in the Discord if you're not already involved. Links in the video description. I do post real-time updates for you in there. For example, a nice little trade on Bitcoin's playing out. You know, I'm looking at this falling wedge, third point of contact. You've got a five-way move up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off this low. You know, and moving a stops up as well, which will relate to the CoinSkid crew. ABC zigzag coming back down into resistance, high-low breakout. Targets were this red line, around about 71,659, and then 75k, which is what we've tagged yesterday. And we're seeing you're looking pretty tasty right there for Bitcoin. And again, that's just pure macro. Really bullish on Bitcoin from this point and above the BMS. The BMS many times before, break down below that, and against all odds and expectative, which is why that medium line, okay, and RP, which is what we're not quite seeing that confirmation from bear to bull at the moment. And this is a data I relay to you in time when we see it. So this is why I still think that we are still in this sort of grinding process of accumulation for XRP, which is what I've been relaying to you. I think we see a pump, and this is why over the past few weeks I have actually been micro bullish on XRP, looking for, you know, retracement into this range, at least this double top drop around about 149. This has been on the radar for me. You know, you've got this high-low structure down there, building positions, and I think we've got this sort of move that comes up into this. But at that point, we could begin to see a rejection across the charts where we do start to see another flush of the lows and a retracement right there for the likes of Bitcoin, just back testing its low, you know, low structure. So again, we've got to be patient, waiting for confirmation of the data to confirm the transition from bear to bull for Bitcoin. We don't quite see it, but I think one of the earliest clues will be breaking that medium line, the 50 level in the weekly RSI for Bitcoin. If we start to see that, I think we've got a massive move to the upside against all odds and expectations. So in the meantime, I just think we've got sort of, you know, sort of consolidation pattern after a drop. for lights of XRP, you know, where you're making this sort of potential descending triangle, horizontal, whatever, you know, you're just slowly grinding up. And this is why, you know, XRP is not getting carried away with a move from Bitcoin and XRP and many altcoins, is because it is slowly just grinding up. Like I said to you, I think it's a slow grind up towards the end of April, and then we could potentially reject at that double top drop and neckline,
which I don't think it's going to reject. I think this is the W formation, and it's going to continue, but we'll see.
Through just like what we did there, and just like what we did there, before we start seeing another rollover and another retest where, you know, the saying is,
all right, that's enough of coins, kid. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto world. Man, I got so many different cryptos, XRP being number one, of course, but I have so many different cryptos that I'm holding 100k VeChain. Let's go. Holding a bunch of casino coin. Let's go. All right, what's going on in XRP bags world? 16 hours ago, videos. Oh, it's still this.
They have stonewalled the President of the United States. They have let down the American citizens. It is time for them to do their jobs.
Is able to send money. So as the owner, right? But if a quantum computer is able to reverse engineer the private key from the public key, in a very real sense, they own everything.
I hate to break this to you, but cold wallets are not what you think they are, okay? Let me explain before you start commenting.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready.
The Clarity Act window is open, and now is our
Take care of America's national security here at home. They have stonewalled the President of the United States. They have let down the American citizens. It is time for them to do their jobs. We have done our jobs. We're going to continue to do our jobs. The budget tool is now the only way for us to protect the American people, because the Democrats refuse to show up and do their jobs.
crypto in America. What is the point of technology improvement if it's not forcing businesses to rethink their model? Innovation should fundamentally reshape banking.
If you look at banking, their relationship with customer really, and how they sort of manage their reserve, that really hasn't changed for a very long time. What is the point of technology improvement if it's not forcing business to rethink their business model, to think about their relation with the customer? I think at a very broad level, at a very high level, if you're just saying whatever we're doing in banking is good enough, we don't want any change, that is really not good for anybody. So I think broadly, I know there's friction between the banking industry and the crypto industry on that front, but hopefully we'll come to a right point where it's not.
I think is going to be, in the future, in my opinion, dwarfed by the number of agents.
Break all of crypto.
I think it's just uncertain how quickly scientists at Google, at Caltech, at IBM, at any of these places, or China, will actually realize this technology. I mean, look at AI. AI went from kind of this thing that didn't seem like much was changing for years and years, and then it exploded. You know, maybe it'll be like that, or fusion power, where it's still dragging and wild. I mean, we just don't know. But I think the reason why I think it's critical is because of the critical impact it has on blockchains. And blockchains will use public key cryptography for effectively identity and authentication, right? Your Bitcoin address is where I send money to, and then I send you money by signing a message using my private key. Only the owner of the private key is able to send money. So as the owner, right? But if a quantum computer is able to reverse engineer the private key from the public key, in a very real sense, they own everything. Yeah. And so like it kind of breaks the entire philosophical model of ownership in crypto, and that's unique to crypto. Like no other area of the world.
A lot of the focus from our team is on bringing developers onto the ledger who says as more activity.
Dangerous.
XRP and crypto owners, your crypto is never going to be a tangible item like this silver right here and gold. Your crypto is never going to be able to be felt or touched, which is a backup of a backup of a backup of a backup. Let's take a blockchain, for example, like XRP. The crypto can never leave that server blade. It can never leave. So if you buy $10,000 worth of XRP, you've bought $10,000 worth of transactions, basically, that are backed up on countless servers called nodes. You can't transfer that XRP into a cold wallet. It's impossible.
Don't listen
Because it lives on the blockchain.
to this guy. Meanwhile, what
Yeah, don't listen to him. It lives on the blockchain. We all know that. We all know where crypto lives. Jeez, these guys.
are your thoughts on this XRP prophecy? A 10K one day, too low.
Finances, you know, and he just said to me, Brandon, you've asked me and asked me this, and I believe it was because of my obedience, because of what he was having me pray over. I was praying over some people at the church, and he said, you asked me and asked me and asked me about investments, and he said, I'm going to tell you something that will increase like Apple one day, that will be a major investment in the end times. And he said, XRP will go from where it's at right now to $10,000 one day. It will be worth over $10,000 per XRP. And when he said that to me, I didn't even know what XRP was. And I was like, what is XRP? So I had to Google it. All this stuff is happening, and the Lord shows me XLM, pray about XLM, was another thing the Lord showed me increase. Now, I don't know anything about XLM. I'm telling you, I haven't even studied it. But I have studied XRP, and I know it's banking stuff.
With that being said, we're not headed to trillions, but quadrillions. The transformation of wealth is upon us. And the longer it takes, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP. Richless, appreciate you stopping by, tuning in for another movie.
All right, let's take a look at this rich list real quick. Let's see. Balance 10,000. You're a 4% holder. 7,000 is a 5% holder. 45,000. Ooh, 1% holder. I was curious where I stood, but now I know. Where do you stand on the rich list, ladies and gentlemen? XRP. It's taking the leap. We're getting there. Yeah, I hope to catch you guys in another live. Peace out.